All right, I'd like to call to order the August meeting of Windsor Township Board of Supervisors. Before we start, I'd like to invite everybody to stand and say the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First thing on the agenda is make an announcement that we had an executive session prior to this meeting for personnel matter. So we'd like to have that on the record. All right. Would someone make a motion to approve the minutes of the July 9th meeting of the board?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, public comment. We have one individual tonight, Ivan Zimmerman. Ivan Zimmerman, you have the floor.
My name is Robert Hayden. I work for Berks Surveying and Engineering. We're working with Mr. Zimmerman for, we did site planning on the the Blue Heron Village out there on Christmas Lake. There's an item for discussion for construction in phase 2 that was approved last year, I believe.
You want to borrow these?
Sure. Thank you.
And then when you need your other sets.
Okay, appreciate that.
Is that a second set?
No,
No,
there's two different sets.
Two different plans here.
I printed this set in reaction to the request about lot 42, which I had emailed all of you folks about.
Okay, so what we're looking at here now is on the north side of the lake. These lots here along North Shore Drive and Lakeview Lane were part of the phase 2 plan that was approved. Basically, the way things were structured with the site design here, we have a stormwater management pond centrally located here, and another basin that's located over here near the intersection. All these lots on this side would all drain to this stormwater management basin, and the lots over on this side would drain to this basin or down to the lake itself. Due to some factors with Med-Ed and electric provisions to the property, they're requiring some major structural upgrades to provide service for the rest of the homes. So they can only build a certain number of homes right now without those upgrades. So they're looking at building these homes, sort of phasing the construction then to just build the homes on the eastern side, which would drain down to this stormwater management basin, essentially sort of break this into phases across here. I think Mr. Zimmerman had spoken with your zoning officer and with member from System Design, and they wanted us to bring this up here for your discussion and to see any concerns you guys have about proceeding in this nature, so we can address them now.
So
That's
you-
just phases 1 and 2.
So you start the conversation out that this is already approved.
Correct.
So what's your question?
Apologies, I'm late in the game. I only got notified about this tonight. I was here about another portion of this property that I got stuck with, so my understanding was that System Design recommended that we bring this before the board tonight to discuss that this is, technically it's an inconsistency with the original plan, and that we're only looking to move forward with construction of a portion of what was previously part of that approved plan.
Within phase 1 and phase 2 only.
Correct. Within phase 1 and phase 2, we're currently only looking to start by building, this side, and then this would be, the rest of the houses would have to wait until something was worked out with Med-Ed to provide power for the rest of those homes.
Now, for phase 3, and the other phases on the south side, that's the set of plans you want to go over, and that's where,
Well, before we jump to that, if there's any other questions, or is there anything I do?
So I guess the issue you're having, Rob, is that what you're going to build versus what was approved are going to be different. But think as long as you record as-built plans, we're gonna know what's been built, you know, that's what's been approved, or is it that you're gonna start phase two, but you might finish it later?
Correct. To my knowledge, we're not looking to, Ivan's not looking to just scrap the whole idea of building the other homes. He just wanted to talk to everybody now that basically, since he can only build a few homes before working out the details with Med Ed, he just wants to, you know, he had spoken with the engineer, and again, that's why we're here to see if the township has any concerns with us breaking this up in this manner.
Well, there's timelines within the ordinance that, you know, if you don't build it within a certain period of time, you may need to come back and get a reapproval. Are you looking for a waiver of that requirement? Is that what you're asking for?
At this point, I don't think so. I mean, again,
Yeah.
with the timelines for approvals, I would think would all be related to infrastructure and, you know, like the improvements agreement for stormwater management and the road improvements and such as that. I don't know that there's a timeline on building out of all the lots.
I guess the reason we brought that up is Michael, System Designs, said he's good with the plan. He just thought we should present it. But there's a possibility if nothing gets worked out with Med Ed. Med Ed wants $2 million if we do more than 10 homes. And so unless we find a way around that, then I guess the question would be, what does it look like if we were forced to do only this side of the project? Like, would we have to, I guess we could cross that bridge later. For now, we have a 5-year plan. Should we just proceed as the plan was, and if we get a full no from Med Ed, that we then have to take the next steps to shrink down the scope of the project?
Well,
The township received an email asking for your plans or discussion to be put on the agenda for the planning commission meeting that's next Tuesday evening.
Yeah.
If there would be specifics that if you would have something specifically that you could present to the planning commission as to what specifically you want to have done, so they can review it and then report back to the board.
Correct, that's the other plans that I have here tonight. And apologies, I'm not trying to create confusion here. I was notified that your engineer asked that we discuss phase 2 and the situation there,
Okay.
to see if you guys have any concerns with this.
So I have a question. So how many homes are in phase 2?
About 35.
35 homes, and you say you can only build 10?
They're saying I can only do 10 without paying them.
Okay, so you only have, what, 5 years, did you say, Russell? Is that what I did?
There was one with that.
There's a timeline.
There is, and that's, you know, I have to go back and double check the timelines because there's something in the MPC, and then I think in our ordinance, it's usually around 2 years is my recollection.
Let's say it's 2 years, you only build 10 of the 35 homes, then that's it. I don't understand what the question's being asked of us.
The question I would have would be, if the other retention pond is strictly catching water from the other 20 homes, could we then possibly move to redraw that, or have them approved to just do the storm water on the side that's affected by the 10 homes? Or would we have to complete the whole 35 lot?
Well,
That's
I think the issue is that if you're gonna change the plans substantially, like if you're gonna go from a 35 home project to a 10 home project,
Right.
I think you might need to come back and amend your plan and get a new approval.
And I agree. I don't think that that's a now problem. I think that, well, he's still working through the details with Med Ed. He doesn't have a hard no that says that you can't work it out. I think that you should be able to continue working and building up to those 10 homes, whatever Med Ed will allow, and in accordance with the approvals that we already have from the township. Unless there's any concerns that the township has with the slight alteration that we're saying, that instead of working on all of the lots, we're gonna focus our construction on just the lots on the eastern half of this.
But I don't think the board here can just tell you which retention, where the water's going to go, which retention pond, but you can scale that back or not. That's for someone else to make that decision.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit premature. I'm just trying to double check here whether we ever even, did we do it, an improvements agreement on this project?
The persons I would need to stay in touch with going forward with construction is that Michael.
Yes, it is Michael Schaefer.
So we've had that meeting on site the other day, so I guess, I think we're good then. We'll just stay in touch with him. He told us how he wants us to proceed, and he just wanted this presented. I'm not sure why. I
Well,
think,
because the lot that's being proposed, and Rob, the point for the supervisors, the lot's 42, so that's way down Lakeview Lane
Okay,
in comparison to lots 1 through 6, the rebuilt ones, and then these are high, 34, 35, 36.
so these lots here all drain to this stormwater management basin. So the division for drainage is where this future road cuts up here.
Okay,
So, I mean, again,
But that's just in phase 1 and phase 2.
correct, it's just in phase 1 and phase 2. We're not proposing to expand beyond those.
And these phases align with the conditional use decision that you all have in your packets, right?
Correct.
Right? We just want to make sure.
I believe it does. So there was an improvements agreement that was done back in 2023.
Yes.
And that agreement says that you have to install and construct the required improvements within the time period stated in the final plan of approval, if any, and if no time period was stated, within 5 years from the date of final plan approval. If you decide not to do that, you need to provide us with a written notice of your intention not to do that.
Okay.
So that's, I would encourage you to go back and read paragraph 5 of the improvements agreement, so it starts at the bottom of page 7, because that's going to outline what you're required to do in this situation.
Okay.
I'm going to send a copy of this out to the board via email, mostly for Mr. Davis's benefit, because he wasn't on the board then, but now he's seen this agreement.
Okay, apologies then for beating that to death. Does anybody have any questions on that before I talk about the other portion of this plan? So that plan that I brought,
Would it be, you're asking to be on the agenda for the planning commission?
Correct.
Next week, okay.
would you, can I present that to you guys here just so you can have a quick glance at it, or do you want to wait until after we talk to the finals?
The concern I have is that it's outside the approved conditional use. The property, part of the property he's talking about may be outside the conditional use decision.
Then they need to review it.
Well, if it's outside the conditional use, what needs to happen is that you need, and I think that this issue has come up before, because you had a council, it was an older gentleman, I can't remember his name, but I believe that we started a conditional use hearing to revise the plans, to revise the conditional use decision. But essentially what you need to do in that situation is you need to come conduct it needs to be a hearing for this board to determine whether or not they're going to grant you a variance or a modification to the conditional use. So it might be helpful if you want to outline very briefly what you're looking to do, so that you can try to determine if it's worth going that route.
Okay.
And there's also, and I don't mean to hold you up, but my recollection is there's also a zoning petition or zoning hearing board application that's sort of been held in abeyance in conjunction with some of these things. So I would encourage you to try to get all that cleaned up.
Absolutely. I can't speak to the status of those as far as I know. Those were withdrawn or whatever at some point.
I don't know if that's been done of record, so.
I can't.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into that and see
Yeah.
where those stand. As of right now, so we did plans for phase 1, phase 2, which were lots on the north side of Crispin Lake. This is a very old resort development. There's been bungalows there for 100 years. There's a bunch of existing lots with existing houses on them across the south side of the lake and around the west end of the lake. what we're looking to do is try to get a plan of record for all those lots, so that way, right now, it's unclear what the dimensions of those lots are, it's unclear, you know, a lot of different things are unclear, so with the concept of like some of the houses are dilapidated, getting permitting to tear them down and build new houses in their place, it would help to have a plan of record that has, you know, complete dimensions for the lots, so that way you can see how the zoning officer can review and determine how things fall for compliance or not. So that's essentially what I have here and what we created to show all those existing lots in great detail, because I was never prepared before because there wasn't a subdivision ordinance when they started building houses around or something. So, essentially, the lot layout was shown as part of the conditional use application, whether the existing lots on the south side are technically included or not. The plans show those existing lots as being existing features at the time when the conditional use application was reviewed. But again, we're looking for some guidance here to see what it takes to we're not looking to create any new lots. We're just looking to get a plan of record together to clean it up more, so to speak. So, if council and the supervisors believe that we need to do a conditional use, then that's the direction we'll go in. If you believe that we need to hash it out with the planning commission to, you know, get their feedback first before we proceed, well, that's the direction we'll go in.
You'll need to do both, because when you're doing the conditional use, you have to go to the planning commission for a recommendation. I know that we had some conditions with regard to the south side of this property, and just.
Number 8.
Roads,
Thank you.
fire access was one.
Well, the south side of the south side of the lake is supposed to be deed restricted to not permit the construction of any new dwellings, not permit the placement of additional mobile modular homes. There's limitations on construction activity. I mean, I have not seen the deed restricted deeds that comply with this condition, so I'd like to have those submitted to the township.
Okay. I just quickly read over the panel before the meeting. I didn't see it specifically say that it wanted deed restrictions, I saw it just added those restrictions to the property.
It says the area, I'm just reading from it, the area on the south side of the lake shall be deed restricted to not permit the construction of new dwellings. There's limitations on construction in that area. I mean, the intention, let's see. I mean, it's not supposed to be developed, and I think that really was the intention. Yeah, I have it.
The south side.
Yeah.
The south side.
I got you, and again, at this point here, we're looking to get a plan recorded that shows dimensions. There's no plan for expanding development on the south side. That's not what we're looking at.
Yeah, but I would like, you know, this conditional use is many years old at this point. I'd like to get that. Yeah, I mean, this decision was issued May 12th of 2021.
Right.
Those deeds with the restrictions should have been recorded, you know, 4 years ago.
I hear you.
Yeah.
That was before my time on this. but
I understand.
So, okay, I mean, I appreciate that feedback. Do supervisors have any questions or comments on this that, you know, before we walk away?
I do, Mr. Zimmer, all due respect, okay? I'm new and not being ingrained in all the local gossip and complaints and praises, right? But there's, and this is for Pamela Russell, there's been a lot of noise over this site for a long time, I've heard. I have nothing against it, anything. But is everything else up to par here before we just keep moving on? It seems like there's animosity here with some people on some certain things, so. Is everything else, is everybody satisfied up to this point?
No, I talked with Ryan Wessner earlier today to get, you know, my understanding, so that's what.
You mean beyond what's being presented tonight?
I believe it's zoning issues, is what, and
There
Russell mentioned.
have been
There were some
consistent zoning issues.
Notice of violations and zoning issues that are still outstanding. It's my understanding from.
Are you aware of this?
There was one disgruntled party, as far as I am aware, that has been resolved, but, yeah, so I believe there's no contention at this point, to my knowledge.
Okay, I'm just saying we ought to get things cleaned up if there's old stuff hanging out, that's all
I
I'm
don't
getting
know.
at.
I'll verify that.
And I don't know what those all are, if any.
Well, and I agree, and that's, the deed restrictions are one. I believe that at some point there was supposed to be a homeowners association agreement. And
It's in the works now. I think part of that was the question of having that plan for the HOA to include all the existing lots, which is part of why we're bringing this into play now, so that there's clear definitions, because you need to provide, a meets and bounds description for the area of the HOA and all the common areas and everything else. So we want to try and get all this, again, part of what we're doing is trying to clean things up
Right.
from part of
Well,
the stuff.
if you're aware or not, we are in a new path of Township to make sure everybody follows the rules and everybody applies equally to everybody going
Okay.
forward. That's what path we're on.
Okay.
So we want to make sure you're coming along with that, okay?
Have no desire to try and circumvent the rules here, just.
No, I don't know what's wrong, okay? I
Right.
just heard noise, okay?
I got you.
And only half what you hear is true, okay? Or even that, so I'm
At
just,
best.
let's just get things cleaned up, if they need to be
also
cleaned up.
include the campground,
yeah, I mean,
whatever plan.
yes, and I think
There's a
we need.
campground, and
Part of this is a campground. I mean, I would encourage you to go through this conditional use opinion and make sure that everything, all these conditions have been met, because my experience has been, I've been told for the last 4 years that the HOA agreement's coming. And, so I'd like to know a timeline. And I'm not asking you to answer that question tonight.
I could tell you that I've spoken with Mr. Zimmerman and his legal counsel as little as a few weeks ago. And again, we were looking at trying to, again, as part of that HOA, we wanted to, before that gets put in place, was to get these existing lots layouts established. And this is part of that. So this is something that should be that.
Who is your legal counsel today?
Aaron Marinos, have he contacted you? Yeah, he'd say he contacted you. It's 95% complete, we just need these couple loose ends to complete it.
Yeah, my understanding is that as soon as we could get the existing lots plan solidified, that way we don't have to make any changes to this, then we can write up the meets and bounds descriptions and Aaron can finish the agreements for the HOA.
Aaron Marinos has created I think 50 or more HOA agreements for other communities, and so I wanted someone who's done it a lot, and so he's the one he's just waiting for these meets and bounds to finish it up.
Okay. Should we proceed with coming before the planning commission to discuss this?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you very much. Anybody have anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that was it for public comment for the evening. We'll go into the reports of financial status.
If you have a handout to quickly summarize this, real estate taxes 301.1 is higher, obviously, because the millage rate is higher. The main source of income, again, is the line item 310.221, earned income tax, the better part of $300,000. Total income in all accounts so far this year, $674,170.50. If you then look at the last page, showing the expenses, in all accounts, the expenditures so far, $453,362.57. Of course, one of the things that is not shown is any of the road work that is going to be done, and that'll be a major expense. But you can see at this point, the total amount of expenditures in the State Liquid Fuels Fund is $33,468 and some cents. But that will definitely increase. the very last thing to notice or to make note of as to where we stand as of today, or basically today, what we have in the different accounts, you can see that those are the numbers that we have at this point. Anyone have any questions concerning finances?
Any comment?
The only question, Craig, you did get the insurance,
The what?
the liability and insurance that we discussed a couple of months ago. You did pay the new,
The liability insurance, what?
Premium for the
the
insurance.
premium for insurance, for
That we would bill for.
liability insurance, fire insurance.
Yeah, that's all paid.
Yes, but it's at the new contracted rate that we agreed to with the new deductible.
Oh, I'd have to check, Jerry, but that's all paid. I,
Okay.
oh, you're talking about, with PERMA and whatever, the new rates. Well,
Yes.
all of that has been basically modified as to what was that
Okay.
has to be done.
Okay,
That
good.
has been modified.
Okay, thank you.
That it?
Yep.
All right, thank you. Engineer, zoning officer, and code enforcement.
Okay.
Stevens.
In your packets, you have our standard, reports that we typically issue for the UCC zoning and codes. If you have any questions, let me know. The first real issue I would like to discuss is the towns at Kershaw Creek, and this one Russell and I have been working on, so since it's more of a legality at this point, a new standalone agreement because of the dead landscaping that couldn't be planted until the fall. Russell will hand that over to you.
Sure. So, members of the board, I've already provided to you an amendment to the maintenance agreement. So there is a land development improvements agreement that was signed by the Township May 26th of 2021. And this is due, the maintenance period is due to end tomorrow. And that's why we had spoken with council. For the developer, he has prepared an amendment that essentially requires owner to complete the items on the maintenance punch list, weather permits, in no event later than April 15th of 2026. And that punch list is the street trees and the shrubbery that needs to be replaced. The estimate on that is $2,700. And they're going to secure that via a bond. I would recommend that you approve this with a maintenance security of $5,700, which would include an additional $3,000 as a contingency for any additional legal or engineering work, inspection fees and whatnot that may be incurred by the township. And then paragraph 4 of this agreement indicates that prior to release of that maintenance bond, that all outstanding consultant fees related to the project must be paid. So really, by increasing the bond by $3,000, you're really just securing the payment of those fees that's already required in paragraph 4.
Okay.
So if you are in agreement with that as modified, my recommendation would be that you approve it. I believe we can have that signed this evening, make the appropriate modification, and then that way we can move this forward for tomorrow.
Any comment?
No, I think it's appropriate.
Okay, I'm just going to have a comment that I want to add. Craig, can you put this in the minutes, please? We talked about in the executive session about all these various projects that are going on, and money's supposed to be in escrow, and I look at the minutes here, and for almost the last year and a half under revenues, and I don't see any of this money coming back, okay? So Craig, you're going within the next 2 weeks, send us a report of how much money we need to bill each one of these applicants, and
You want to have an updated status as to where we stand with the projects.
all the projects. Right, how much money that we need to get billed out. And I think that then, once we determine that, I think we need to decide, we can't wait until the end of the project, we're going to bill every 6 months or every year. Because there's been very little money coming in for all this money that we've been incurring for the engineer and the solicitor, which they prepared this document right here, asking us to sign.
This was prepared by the Developers Council, that way that it would not.
But you both spent time on it.
Right,
Yeah.
but we specifically asked them to prepare it so that you
Sure,
should be billed for
right,
it.
no, I understand, but you're
Yeah.
spending time on it, and we're fine, that's fine,
Yeah.
but they're supposed to be paying these costs. And I don't see that money coming back. So, yes, I'm in agreement to vote to approve this amendment.
You make the motion
I'll make the motion that we adopt amended as presented.
And that
with the
you,
addition of the $3,000.
Correct.
and that you authorize the chairman to execute the amendment agreement.
We'll have a second.
Yes, I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
So I just want to make sure my notes were all clear. Okay. So along with the towns at Kersher Creek, we just had the presentation about Blue Heron Village. So that also is a project that we are charging to.
I don't see any money coming
But
back.
I'm just saying,
I
that would be
understand.
on the list.
Sure,
Okay.
yes.
And then Mountain Road Grant, I don't have any info on. I'm gonna look at my packets here, see that's that report, that report. I see the report. In your packet, another project that we have opened the work order number for, and I need to revisit this, Russell, with you. The Hamburg self-storage is the one closest to 61 off of Chappelle. And they
Yes.
did not set up an escrow agreement yet?
No, and I had that on my list for my report as well.
Okay.
Because Craig forwarded to the planning commission today an investigation report from
Yeah, Berks County Conservation.
Berks County Conservation
Mhm,
District,
mhm,
and this was something that was brought up at the last meeting, whether or not they're moving earth. I wanted, because I saw that it was only sent to the planning commission, I wanted to report back that the investigation has indicated that there was not significant earth movement at this point in time.
Which is a good thing. However, we still don't have money set aside once it's to the point for stormwater inspections or other township improvements that would have an effect to the surrounding properties and to Chappelle Road, drainage issues, mud issues, all these things that have me concerned. And I would just want to make sure that we have this memorandum of understanding. Something is set up with this developer if he's not going to post the full escrow. And that was my understanding. He was not going to post the full escrow.
We don't have a cost estimate.
I think we do.
You do?
Mhm.
I haven't seen that.
Okay.
So if I can get the cost estimate,
Okay.
I can start get a draft of the improvements agreement to the council. Because if they're gonna start moving earth, even though it's not, sufficient to be an ENS violation, I think that we need to move that forward.
And we always defer to the Conservation District for these activities because they have the inspection power. We don't. But the next step is stormwater. Once you start ENS, you're going to go into stormwater.
Well, what was the reason for them not posting the full escrow?
It's in the email chain. So I can share that again with everybody
Yeah.
and get the cost estimate circulated as well. Okay? It just has me a little nervous on behalf of the township.
I'm sure there's no reason other than a financial reason.
That's exactly what it is. It was similar to, other developers.
Well, they're
we
gonna have
have.
money to put buildings there, they'll have money to put
That's
in
the
that.
Well,
point. That's
there's-
the point.
This is part of the process.
Okay. All right. So that's why I included this conservation district, reminded me to talk to you folks about that concern. And I included a copy so that all of you have it, the conditional use that we just discussed with Blue Heron. And of note, under the decision is number 8, and that's the one on the south side that has the limitations that Russell was reading. So you do have a copy of that in your packets, so you can familiarize yourself. So that's my packet. And then last on the agenda here is the LSA grant application for the tandem truck.
Sorry, I was right.
So, I know, but yeah, I'm sorry, it's not a check, so what do you need?
Carl was here and looked at our printer since we couldn't scan. So he had said he was gonna send me an email with what he came up with. I don't know if he sent that out.
He did.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he's basically recommending getting a new computer up to Windows 11.
Right.
You know, and this computer that we've had it for quite a while.
Yeah.
because it has to be, the grant application has to be in by the end of September 30th,
The grant for what now?
for the tandem truck. So
But he can't scan, he
I
can't
can't,
create.
I
he
can't
has
get,
to
Oh,
I
oh,
can't
oh.
get the paperwork into him.
It has to all be
So,
uploaded.
Would that be feasible to get something, or should I give the papers to Pamela to scan in
Just quick scan and email back.
and email them back so I can forward them in?
I'm not doing the grant preparations, just assisting with
It's all,
the
it's
scans.
done, it just needs to be, well, the application has to be finalized on the
Okay,
paper,
so
but
I understand.
all our
But
paper's
what-
gotta get scanned in.
So we need a scanner or we need a computer?
We need,
Both.
we need a scanner to scan into the computer.
And this computer is where?
This is the one in Craig's office.
Can't it be just upgraded to Windows 11?
Wasn't there a time period for that you had to do that?
No, you can.
Carl
I think that-
was here for over 6 hours last week, and he can't get it. It's not updating, this computer is not updating.
We've had this
And
computer for 10 years.
The,
Oh, okay.
the
that's-
printer says it's scanning, but yet it puts out an error code. It's like, it is communicating, but yet when
Okay.
it goes through the process, it don't do it, because it says, it has a tally on there that it used to scan, but I don't know if that was with a different computer, because it recognizes it, but it's confusing him big time. And so-
Okay.
So that's why, I know he was gonna send an email, I'm not sure what the email said.
And I was with Carl for, a fair amount of time with that, and both of those machines are just outdated and they have to be replaced. That's just the whole bottom line. And his email indicated, because of his expertise being an IT person, he wants to know if he should start investigating things as far as what would be appropriate for, this circumstance.
Well, it becomes a security issue come I think October 1st, because I think that's when the prior versions of Windows are no longer going to be supported by Microsoft. So that becomes an issue, just a risk, so it probably makes sense from a liability perspective.
So let's have a look at the options.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
that's fine. But in the meantime, do you need me to scan this and email this to you to get it done?
Somebody needs to scan
Yeah,
it.
somebody needs to.
And how many pages are we talking about?
Probably 12 to 20.
Okay, I can scan them in for you, solve the problem, okay?
So,
And then we can look and see what options we have to buy new equipment. That takes care of the problem today, but we still need a scanner, is what you're saying, okay?
Carl tried to hook the laptop into the scanner, because that's a newer laptop.
and like I said, it communicates between both the laptop and the desk computer, and it says it's doing the function, but then when it goes through, it spits out an error code. So it says it's doing it, and he even tried to reboot the scanning option on the printer, and it just keeps, because he was here 2 hours last week with me, and then he was here 4 hours yesterday himself, and he's kind of scratching his head at it, because it says it operated, and yet it don't.
And he tried both printers. No, he tried one of the other
For several
office.
years now, Fraser has indicated that they no longer support that equipment because it's outdated.
Yeah, I think that the other one came from Stenix, I think, that was the company that we used.
Well, The other one's even older than this one.
All right,
Yeah.
So,
let them get some quotes.
Yeah.
like I said, I know he said he was gonna send an email, but I didn't know. what-
Do you have those documents with you?
Earlier, yeah.
All right, make sure you give them to me before you leave, not scan them, give them to me for tomorrow.
All right, later on in the agenda is the Route 61 driveway and sidewalks, so when we get to that point, update that. And then the Snyder subdivision is also a new business.
Any other comment?
Yeah, I have some comments, Pam, on this packet you handed out.
Mhm.
The second page you have on here, Windsor Township. Applicant's name, address, job site, and fees collected.
Mhm.
And that's $1,968, adds up to be. Then a couple pages back, there's a sewage enforcement activity report,
Mhm.
and there's fees in there that are not summed up, but there's 2,000, 3,000, maybe 30, 2,300
Mhm.
or more, okay?
Mhm.
Who paid, those applicants pays those fees? They make the check out to who for those fees?
My understanding is
Windsor
that's
Township.
Windsor Township.
And then who collects those fees?
They come to Windsor Township, and then we invoice you for those fees that match these reports. So the fees.
No, wait a minute. They come to you for the application, the permit.
Mhm.
They write it, you give them the permit, then you bill them for the fees?
No, they can't pick up the permit until they pay the fee. So
Okay.
we calculate the fee
And
for
they're picking
them.
the permit up where?
I think it's from our office.
They come to your office, get the permit.
Mhm. But the fees are made out to Windsor Township.
And then those checks are transferred to Windsor Township by mail?
Ryan Western probably physically brings some or mails them.
Yeah, they're either physically brought or mailed.
Mhm.
Okay, gotcha.
And then we invoice to match.
No, I
all
get
of
it,
that.
I get it, okay, perfect.
Does
Alright.
that make sense?
Yep, thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome. That's what I have on the current until later in the agenda then.
All right. Any other comment? All right, thank you.
Mhm.
All right, on the fire service, I saw Scott wasn't gonna be able to make it today. Those guys had a busy day
He sent us
over in
an
Perry
email.
Township. So, we have somebody here from Burgessville. You just have anything you wanted to say this evening?
So we last night had our monthly company meeting, and the LSA grant was discussed, that you are asking for a letter that we would support it, and we voted to do that, so we'll get that to you sometime next week.
All right, thank you.
So that was like the biggest discussion that we had in regards to Windsor Township.
Okay. Yeah, I see Mark isn't gonna be here for the next couple months, so,
He's covering third shift, and he was also
Yeah.
at that fire for 12 hours.
yeah. Okay. All right, thank you very much. All right, Roadmaster, what do you have, Ben?
I did take the samples, soil samples over at the park and got those results back. It says that it's definitely needs lime and fertilizer for the next number of years. Because it's like 3 times lower than what you can put on per year that they recommend, so. That's something to think about if you just want to start this fall, putting some on to.
Is that the time to do it?
Lime is in fall, and you can put fertilizer on too. If not, you can fertilize in spring, so. But
Do
the
you
lime they recommend in fall.
Do you know if they're having fall, little, girls' little league?
That I do not
Softball.
know. So, but that would be the end of, to the end of October if they would have it.
Is Mike gonna be coordinating that after,
Yes, after.
Roger leaves? Okay, so he's aware of that they could be playing.
So Ben, can you take some action and get somebody lined up or rent a spreader and dump the lime and start getting it spread this fall? Can you take charge of that process, get lime on?
I should be able to.
Put 3 or 4 ton on per acre?
So, I should be able to do that. Line somebody up, get some prices.
Okay, thank you.
So, we also got recertified for our flagger, so our road crew is good for 2 years again.
Ben, excuse me. Were there other townships involved in it, people?
The Furnace Streams was supposed to come, but then they backed out because of, since they had the rain, their work got pushed. So they backed out, but they were supposed to be here.
Okay,
They were gonna have 8
we
people
were
here.
invoiced, and that was just all of our
Yes.
personnel.
Yes.
Okay, that answers the question.
Yeah, because there was 7 or 8. So,
What's that?
because we were sitting here, Jared was over there, and
Uh,
we were watching and stuff, so
Okay,
I had to think who was sitting there. I took my recertification test for my sprayer license, so I'm waiting for those results back. But I did the core, which I need, and the right-of-way spraying, so once I have those results back, I should be certified for 3 years again. Reports were here and fixed the shoulder on Kohler Hill and Woodland Roads. The pipes and the stones came in for our pipe work, which we started now. We're waiting for the catch basins to come yet.
That's the low volume grant, right?
Yes, yep, for the low volume grant from the Conservation District, so. We have 1 pipe tomorrow yet to put in on Strasser, and then five pipes with catch basins once they come. So, the 14 pipes are in the ground, we're just waiting for, 10 pipes are in the ground, we're waiting for the other ones yet, so.
And then what we also have tonight are the CMS documents to be signed under it's your
For-
project,
for the
right?
road work, yes.
So I would need authorization from the supervisors to have those signed, and then Craig will crimp them, and those are the agreements for CMS to do their work. And also, are you still on target for the notice to proceed for September 14th or 15th, whichever that Monday is? Because then what we could do is issue the notice and award notice to proceed so that they get their crews ready for that week.
Because
If it all
as of the
works.
15th, we probably won't have them blacktop. But since some of them, they're gonna be going through, they can just go through and we'll butt up whatever they don't get and stuff, so. But we're waiting till the catch basins are in, and 3 weeks after the catch basins are in before we blacktop. So,
I think it's gonna be in before school starts,
no. Nope,
No.
because it starts the
in
21st.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Next week.
So,
Okay, I remember.
yeah, they start the 21st, so that's next week. So.
And then we would need you to attend the pre-con with CMS. All right, so I'll have Chip email all of you folks so that you know when the pre-con will be. And then you can meet with CMS
Yeah.
foreman. But I still need authorization for that under your report so we can get that moving too.
Yeah, because I know I have to remark some of the areas that are faded out, from the traffic and the wore off, so.
Okay. And then additionally, I have all of the bids sitting there. All of those are for Craig's file for the liquid fuels audits. And that's for the 2025 road. So that's all the bid documents that I know you need.
And then we mowed all the shoulders because normally we mow in August, but with the pipe work going on, we mowed them. If it does need it again, but so far it's been dry, we'll go around again in October and mow again if needed. But we did our second mowing of all the shoulders, just so they were mowed back, and since we knew we were gonna get tied up with the pipe work, so. Other things, truck 5 was back in the garage again, picked it up from the front end issue finally. We brought it back halfway here, it fell flat on its face, had no power, did 10 mile an hour. So we took it back and they said something in the turbo. It put a check engine light on the dash, they did it on the computer, turbo wasn't kicking it. So they stuck a new turbo on, and I knew we got the bill for that, so. But now it's running the way it's supposed to be. No oil leaks, and it's running nicely, so. Gotta knock on wood that it's still, that it makes it,
We'll
but.
get more for it.
Like I said, we got the recertified for flaggers. It was brought up that some of our stuff is not is out of date now.
Signs.
No, it's more or less our vests, we're not up to code on our vests. We're not as reflective as we're supposed to be. And also they're not the breakaway kind. So if we get snagged by a mirror or something, we have the zippered ones, so. Also, they're suggesting, even PennDOT suggesting, because I was up at LTAP and up at PSAT's convention, they even want the township workers, flaggers now to wear those reflective lighting covers like Dr. Boots.
Really?
Yes. They want everybody to have it. They're trying to get a standard over everybody. It's not just at nighttime anymore, it's day and night. Our signs that aren't reflective is our work signs and stuff, like our work area signs, our flagger sign.
Do you have the metal ones or the roll-up ones?
We have the metal ones. So they can get refaced to be reflective, because we got the be prepared to stop signs after I started here. The first flagger round we went, and those are reflective. So, that's something to think about there.
Well, do a cost comparison between what it costs to reface them or get the roll-up signs, because they're a lot more convenient.
Yeah. Well, the roll-up, then we need
But then you need the
stands
stands and all that other
so-
stuff. You have to do a comparison.
So, and then also too, it was suggested about night gear. We rarely go out, but if we do have the trees down for some reason and we have to be out, we have no night gear to flag. You know, we'd have to stand in front of a pickup truck's headlights or something. You know, we don't have nothing as far as that goes. So that was a suggestion.
Can you run all that by Miller Municipal
Yeah.
and see if they can come up with some prices?
So it's not that we have to on everything, but it's something that they're recommending and stuff, so. Which I think every couple of years it changes anyway, so.
Every 5 years or something like that.
So, and then, like I said, our pipe work's in the process, and that's it. So,
Any comment?
I need that motion.
Okay. And that's the,
To execute the contract documents for the 2025 road project with Construction Master Services.
okay. And anybody want to look at them, or
What are we talking about?
just road bid contract?
Oh,
This is
okay.
what we approved last month.
Right, okay.
All right, I'll make the motion that we
This is,
approve.
this is line item 6 under old business. Sign the
Yeah.
approved contract.
Mhm.
Yeah, we can do it now.
Yep.
All right, I'll make that motion that we approve this contract with Construction Master Services for the road work for 2025. Do I have a second?
How much money is that?
Is it
It's
91,000?
just under 100, yeah.
I think it was 91.
91,000, so.
It's right, it should be on the agreement.
Yeah, it's 90.
No, that's the agreement we're signing, maybe that's what
Yeah.
we're looking at, right?
$91,061.05.
Is that what's in the agreement?
That's supposed to be. That's supposed to be.
I'm looking at all these other sheets, I need that agreement to look at.
You want me to show you which page, Quick?
Sure.
Is that towards the end?
It's called the Notice of Intent to Award. It's this here,
That page?
that page, and then just keep it folded if you can grab it. And then this, you're recommending the execution of the agreement and all the contract documents.
17.
Mhm.
Yes, $91,061.05.
You got it.
Okay, I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, ayes have it. And then we'll sign them at the end of the meeting.
Yeah, and I need the print, the township print to do dust
Seal,
print
okay.
to seal.
Yep.
You know, the thing.
All right. All right, we'll go to anything new at the park, other than the grass fertilizing and stuff.
I should have waited for that.
Well, you're gonna proceed on that in the next week. By next week, start getting quotes.
I'm on vacation.
Well, the following week, then, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You talked to Mike lately, how everything's going there.
Really?
He's doing a good job.
Yep.
I was by a couple of times, talked to him a long time.
Right. Filled his gas cans up, so he's good again. And he has to hook on a weed whacker, because the other one, for some reason, keeps sticking to let the string out and stuff. So I gave them that one, so they're not being held up.
Mhm.
So.
All right, and on the solicitor, Mr. Harvey, ours.
All right. So we talked about South Schuylkill already. I'm gonna reach out to them, once I get the cost estimate.
South Schuylkill is the storage unit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Just want to report back, I was at the zoning hearing for the Kaufman Roush project, or for the zoning hearing. That was continued in progress, so the next date is August 27th. So I'll be there for the continuation of the hearing. I think we're gonna finish that night, but then what the zoning hearing board solicitor had indicated is he's going to ask council to submit what's called a letter brief, which is just a legal argument. So I don't know that a decision will be made that night. So we'll probably have to come back another night for the announcement of the decision.
You have 45 days, right?
From the conclusion of the hearing.
Yeah.
But I don't think the hearing will conclude that night. I think we'll finish testimony, then we'll have an opportunity to provide legal argument in writing, and then they'll make a decision. So,
Russell, maybe you want to finish your report. I do want to add something to that, so it's up to you when you want to discuss that.
on Kaufman Roush?
Yes.
Why don't you do it now?
Okay, so, and I'll pass this down to Russell, please. What I just passed out here was a packet with 3 maps in it. The one I want you to turn particularly to is the second page. I reached out to the assessment office in Berks County and spoke to the representative of the Clean and Green Department. And there is 14 acres on that property that is excluded from Clean and Green. And it's outlined there if you can see it. It's an L shape
You understand?
on the east side of Monument Road. Then there's 2 acres on the west side of Monument Road. Okay? I had spoke to this person in great length, and contrary to the testimony that was presented at the zoning hearing meeting, they can move those 14 acres around on that property just by submitting an updated map. No engineering, just submit an updated sketch plan and move those acres around. So I look at this map, there's 2 acres on the west side of Monument Road. If that needs to be expanded, they can take the dog leg off the bottom, which, as you can see on the first map, on that packet, that dog leg follows the R2 zoning line between R2 and industrial. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not, but based on the testimony, that was not known, but it just follows the line there, you can see. Does this make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah. The issue is we need someone who can testify to that. And I don't think that, I don't think that assessment's gonna come in and testify. Someone who has expertise. I mean, is this something that you think Ryan would have expertise on?
Are we talking about Clean and Green?
Yeah.
He may be able to, I can ask him, but my understanding is Clean and Green is typically on ag property.
Well, it is. It is.
Right.
And I think what Jerry's point is.
No, let me back up.
Yeah.
You can have clean and green on industrial property. It's what the current use is.
Right.
It does not matter what the township zoned that property as, it's
Correct.
its use.
The use.
It's
okay.
based on the use, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
But I thought clean and green was very restrictive on what activities can happen,
That's true.
right?
What I'm saying to you here is, there's 14 acres on that property, it's not in clean and green.
Not.
Right. And if some of those acres right now are being used for agricultural use, if they want to move that lines around,
They can?
they can, without incurring any fees. And Russell, every year, up to 10%, I believe, they can pull out 2 acres.
correct,
And there's no back taxes or penalties assessed.
that's correct.
Okay?
A minimum of 10 is my understanding. They can't go below 10.
No, there's two different, there's a split off and a separation, and I believe, I think the split off is the 2 acres, and then, but then if it's more than 2 acres, you have to do 10 acres.
It's always that 10.
It's either 2 or 10.
So Russell, what do you need me to do further to make sure that you get this? Because the point is, this demonstrates there's no hardship.
Right.
The land is there, the land is there. And once we grant some kind of variance on it, okay, it stays there for the life of the property.
Right, I think what you need is someone who has expertise on clean and green and can testify to this.
I'm not sure Ryan Wessner
Yeah.
has that qualification. I can check with him, but.
So do we need to subpoena a witness?
Is the township willing to pay for an expert witness to come and testify about clean and green? And if so, because I'm sure I could identify an attorney who could come and testify about this. If I wasn't your counsel, I could testify about it, but I'm your counsel, so you need someone to be able to testify about the clean and green rules, you know.
Or does an email serve the purpose?
I don't think an email.
Not from the clean and green expert. That
No,
gave-
no,
gave-
because it needs
that
to be-
knows the case and knows the facts.
It needs to be live testimony. So, you know, my point is that if you want that, you know, you're gonna probably have to pay someone to come and review this and testify.
Well, it's like I told Mr. Zimmerman tonight, we're gonna apply the rules equally across the board.
Understood, I just need to know, you know, if the board is inclined to do that, then I need to know what the budget is for that, so that I can go, you know, and identify someone and get them at a hearing next week to testify about this.
Why don't you get some quotes and email us?
Well, what I need you to do, because we're at a public meeting, is I need you to authorize up to a certain amount, and then I have no problem sending you quotes. But if I don't have an authorization in the minutes, then we're gonna need a special board meeting to approve it. I mean, I honestly,
What do you think it would cost?
I don't, and I'm going a little high here, I think no more than, I would say no more than $3,000 to $5,000.
To come to a meeting for 15 minutes?
Well, they have to review it, and I'm giving you a high number, and I'm gonna try to get it someone a lot lower than that. If it were me, I would probably charge about $1,500, if that gives you some context. Like, I would not charge $5,000 to go and testify for what will probably be a half an hour, but.
My suggestion is you get some numbers and see, and then advise. So we'll give you authorization to provide some feedback on it, get a quote.
Well, I think the question is that between now and August 27th, I can't get a number approval from you unless we have a special meeting. You know, let's say I come back to you and I get three guys, 3 attorneys, and there's one that says we'll do it for 1,500, one will do it for 2,500, one will do it for 2,750. You don't have, unless you call a special meeting, you can't approve that. Because you have to do that in a public meeting. So my point to you is that if you approve up to a certain number tonight, and then I can send you proposals, you can then say to me, okay, go with this person, but you've approved a budget.
Okay, can we approve a budget for $2,000?
That's fine.
Can we approve a
but-
budget for $2,000?
I mean, I'm not in favor of it. You're going down a road and you're gonna be doing this every time somebody comes in here and does something that we don't like.
No, we're going to enforce the rules going forward for everybody, not pick and
You know,
choose.
You sit here and you complain about money all the time, Jerry, and that stuff, and it's, you know, when H&K was here, you basically drug that meeting on, and then you complained about the professionals' fees and stuff that we had to pay for it.
And did you
And we were
watch
here for 5.5 hours.
did you watch that Zoom meeting that was recorded of that zoning hearing board meeting? Did you watch that?
No, I did not.
Okay. You know, there's a couple of things was said on that tape that I'm gonna say and get in public that bothers the crap out of me. The property owner sat there in that chair and testified, it's not safe for trucks to pull out on Old 22. And that's why they're trying to get a driveway permit further to the east. Blood's not gonna be in my hands. And it was also made a point, Dave, that we approved that property here. And they want to point at that block. I didn't approve this and I didn't approve that. But they're trying to capture it all now. So that was rammed through. So that yes, I spent extra money to bring this up. But down the road, when somebody's killed, I wish to God never happens over there, but I'm afraid. I went over there twice in the last couple of weeks, and I almost got took myself. And it's gonna be a different story when you're on a big truck, okay?
They're PennDOT
It's a
roads.
serious situation.
And that roads, they issue the HOP permits.
So you don't support the township to enforce its own rules that you helped put in place? This individual signed this map in 2009, okay? That line was there the whole time. As Russell pointed out at the meeting. That's fine. I will bring an expert, okay?
At your own expense.
That's right, at my own expense.
Have at it.
Can you let me know who you're bringing? So that if you're gonna bring a witness, I need to talk to them ahead of time.
Sure.
Anything else?
We talked about Kershaw Creek, and then I'm gonna connect with Ryan on 1415 Mountain Road to address the issues over there. But beyond that, I don't have anything else.
Well, you're gonna give an update on the Route 61, right?
It's on the agenda.
Right, so when it comes to that.
I don't really have an update at this point. You know, it's still something that's in progress.
All right. Thank you very much. On to old business. How's your phone coming?
I have a full report of what's going on in the township here on the phone. On July 20th, I attempted to order the phone. Ben wants the phone through Verizon and an Apple phone. And we were going down the path with the agreed upon amount that we talked about the last meeting. I got stopped because I needed an EIN number for the township. That was on Sunday, July 20th. I text Ben to see if he had an EIN number. He did not. He was waiting for Craig to provide for him for some applications he's working on. On July 28th, I never received a response. I emailed Craig on July 28th to get the EIN number. Craig sent the EIN number on the 28th. The phone was ordered. July 30th, I was asked to upload additional proof of business entity. I sent Craig an email on the 30th of July on what we needed. to show that we are an identity of some sort. No response. August 2nd, Verizon canceled the phone order. And as of August 13th today, I still don't have the documents. So that's the issue on the phone.
What document do they need?
If we're a nonprofit organization, articles of incorporation, there was a whole list of things that I sent that we need. We need something. They cancel, they won't send it.
Yeah, I don't know that you have anything like that, because you're a municipal corporation essentially that exists by statute. You don't have articles of incorporation, or do you have the original IRS letter that assigns the EIN number?
We have an EIN number.
No, I know, but do you have the letter that, probably has existed longer than you've been secretary?
Right, I've never seen anything like that.
So that's why it takes so long to get in. They can't get any response, so.
No,
So you're basically saying, is it just Verizon or?
I think any provider, because you're trying to open a business account, but you guys don't necessarily fit in the box that, that they want you to fit in, because you're not a corporation, you're not an LLC, you're not a nonprofit organization, you're a municipal corporation. So I'm not.
Pamela, do you have any experience with this from your past?
I believe we did have to send them something to that effect. I can't remember what, but we had to do some research for it. Now, we went through what was called FirstNet, which was the plan that gives a discount for people like you, that you're considered like an emergency responder, treats them. And that's how we went through. So we were already identified as a municipality when we did that. I don't know if that makes a difference to Verizon, but there's typically a discount for what we call a first responder. And that's how we got our phones updated. But I do remember there was some strange paperwork. I can't recall absolute.
It might be worth reaching out to FirstNet to see, not only the discount, I mean, they do this all the time.
All the time, that's what I'm saying, maybe that they don't go through as many hoops. That's all I can suggest.
So we have nothing in the office here at all?
As far as what?
What we just talked about? Some kind of entity that shows, or document that shows what kind of entity this township is.
Well, you're a municipal corporation that's formed by statute. So normally when a corporation forms, it has to file something with the Department of State. You don't have to do that because the statute establishes this as a municipal corporation because you're a municipality. So there's no,
So do we just go get a phone under a personal account then?
well, I think that what Pamela is suggesting is reaching out to FirstNet and they may be able to facilitate, the interface with the phone company.
And who is FirstNet?
Oh, I thought you knew. FirstNet is if something happens, everybody else will be knocked out from the cell towers, except typically what we call FirstNet communication grid. That would mean the fire, ambulance, all of those are gonna get that first priority.
So how do I contact them? Google it?
Google FirstNet, yeah. But they're specifically set up to knock everybody else out.
FirstNet.com, I just Googled it.
And that's who we work with at Lower Work for that program.
No, they use AT&T, so
Well, that was the thing. I don't know if AT&T's not good for your service here, that's another layer of.
AT&T is awful inside this building, there's no
Okay.
service.
Well, then,
Because I have AT&T and I have no service inside the building.
sorry,
You got T-Power.
I know if I don't check them.
So if he
Well,
wants,
check with Verizon if they have an emergency responder plan.
So they're probably still gonna ask for the paperwork though. Maybe not.
I don't know.
all right. I'll charge the billable time. What's next on the agenda?
All right, job descriptions, you were gonna work on that? Outstanding tasks to be done. Anything to add to that?
No.
Professional services, anything to add to that?
That's a dead horse.
All right, Route 61, driveways and sidewalks agreement.
We're still working on that. Try to have a report for you next month.
All right. All
Did
right,
you, did you call him by chance? Did you call
Oh, who?
the Canoni guy about that agreement? The one that the email about the Route 61?
The service walks.
The service walks
No, I
and
did not
sidewalks?
get to that.
Okay.
is there any way he could attend it?
He,
To the Zoom?
maybe Tuesday? Do you want me to reach out to him?
Yeah, see if he could zoom in for next meeting.
Okay.
All right, and then we'll sign the contracts for the road work on the new business in Snyder subdivision.
Okay, the Snyder subdivision, I talked to Joshua Snyder, and he's on the agenda for the planning commission. The planning commission would be able to sign the documents, and then it'd be available for the board to sign them at the next board meeting.
What's the date of the next board, September?
The,
I don't have my calendar on me.
It's next week, isn't it?
No, planning commission is the 19th, was the date for the board, because that'll be on that agenda.
Oh, that's the board meeting.
Yeah, you'll get that.
Tenth?
yes, September 10th.
And that's the plan to consolidate on Mountain Road, some of the game lands to this Mr. Snyder.
And Blue Heron we talked about. Are there any other concerns?
Yeah, I have one more concern. Pamela, the last several months, we talked about the road bid project, and there was supposed to be a refund check.
Not a refund check, we actually gave you a refund on the invoice, and then we also cut a check for the other.
Okay,
So there is on that one invoice, you'll see about $310, and then also $219.
okay.
A previous month that, I'm gonna take a guess, May meeting, whichever one,
Mhm.
if you paid the invoice in full,
Right,
there was a credit. The
Okay.
credit rolled to the next invoice,
Right.
meaning this one.
sure.
And there was also a list of no charges. When you see the invoice, it says no charge, and it's a
Mhm.
minus, minus, minus.
Okay.
So that was around $500 of credit on that invoice, and then we
Okay.
also cut a check.
So I asked the question several months ago, and I never received an answer yet from you on this, if you asked anybody. This bid project was, what, 300 pages long? And I looked at it, and I said this before, there's about 3 or 4 pages, was any work done on it. The rest is all boilerplate, standard contract, legal jargon to protect the township and the contract and the whole 9 yards. And I asked you last, like I said, a month or two ago, there's a charge on here for prepare bid form prevailing wage rates. And there was 5 hours spent on that at $140 or $700. And I never received an answer back from anybody from SDE how someone spent 5 hours reviewing a boilerplate contract.
There's more pages than what you're saying that have to be.
So what was done on prevailing wage?
Prevailing wage is.
I know what it is, but what was done?
In other words, you have to do the cost estimate and then upload it into the system. And then you request those wage rates. And then when they come back, you have to download them and then put them into the specification. That's just the prevailing wage rate. But there's other issues that should be Chip Perniesny, our main spec writer. And then he does other issues for fact checking everything, including quantities and dates
So he spent 3 hours to prepare the bid document,
Mhm.
4.5 hours to prepare contract documents, 4.5 hours for contract preparations,
Mhm.
5 hours for contract documents, 4 hours for prevailing wage, for a total of 21 hours.
It's not just specific to the prevailing wage, there's other activities that he's doing at that time. And if you need more explanation on the invoice, then I will talk with him.
Yeah, can we have it?
Mhm.
I just don't see how someone could spend a half a week.
Typically,
this.
yeah, typically the road specs, no matter how complicated or uncomplicated they are, take about $5,000 for a municipality. There's a lot that happens, but
Okay.
I think more description in the invoices would help.
I looked at at something very similar at a different municipality and done by a different firm,
Mhm.
and it was half the cost. Okay?
Depends on what type of contract it is, too.
It was almost the same, doing the same kind of patchwork, okay, same thing. So, that's my concern here.
Okay.
And I haven't got a clear answer how this was all done. And since I saw another agreement, it makes me really wonder.
Maybe you don't have to-
Another agreement just like this,
Oh.
done for a different township, for a very similar project.
Mhm.
The square footages weren't exactly the same, but they were very close.
Okay.
And that total bill for that was a little over 2,000. And this was over 4.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
If I buy the car here, the same make and model, brand new, and it's $10,000, and over here it's $20,000. Same car, new car, same specs. See what I'm getting at?
I do, I understand.
That's all I have.
All right, if there's no other concerns, would someone make a motion that we pay the bills? I'll make that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Is he opposed?
Is there something you have a question about?
No, it's just general stuff.
All right. The ayes have it. All right, we have no reason to go into executive session since they're already there. And I'd like to make a motion, we adjourn the meeting. Do I have a second?
No second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye, ayes have it.